it's CJ, and we are back to talk about another episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. But before we get started, make sure that you thumbs up this video as always, and also go ahead and hit that subscribe button while you're here, just so that you're here for everything else that I put out in the future. This along with Love After Lockup, This Is Us, a bunch of other videos. So if you would be so kind, just tap that subscribe button and we'll go ahead and get started. Now today we'll be talking about season 13 episode 6, and they titled this one The Giving Peach. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and start. Now the episode started with, we see like a little glimpse of Kenya. She looks to be meeting with some sort of marketing woman of some sort about her hair care line. I guess she is changing the Kenya Moore hair care or whatever she called it. I think they're just trying to revamp it and trying to change the name and everything. And we also see Cynthia and Mike. They are getting the wedding list together, and Cynthia is noticing that a lot of the guests are still sort of iffy about the travel due to COVID and everything that they've been kind of stricken with. So this conversation brings up her father. She still has not invited her father to the wedding yet because apparently he and her mom are beefing because her mom did that PSA with Kenya about domestic violence, and she brought up a really tough time in their marriage or when they were together, and it didn't really sit well with the dad. So he and the mom, it brought up some bad memories because he was at her wedding with Peter, but she's kind of on the fence about inviting him to the wedding with Mike because she doesn't want to upset her mom. Mike was just kind of like, well, do you want him to come? And she's like, yeah, I want my father to come. But, my mom has been there and she kind of has the right to her feelings, and almost like what she says goes. And Mike's like, well, it's our wedding, so it's your day. If you want him there, then he needs to be there, no matter what or who may not like it. So that's kind of where they are at this point. And then we go over to Drew and Ralph. They're packing up. They're getting ready to move into that beautiful house that they showed us a few weeks back. And they kind of turned the packing into like a competition. It was kind of cute. And Drew was kind of happy to see him smiling because, as we learned a couple weeks ago, he lost his dad. And so in the midst of his grief, she says, it's really good to see you smiling. And he's happy to be able to smile. And they kind of go into this weird segue to a balloon release. They wanted to release some balloons for him. And they go outside and they say their words and they let the balloons off. It was really cute. You could tell what they said. It was heartfelt, and it caused Ralph to kind of apologize to Drew. He basically just wants her to have patience with him because he knows that he has been a complete asshole. And so he's asking for forgiveness and just patience, and that, he's going to try to change and this and that. But she accepts it. And then we also see this little scene where there's like this small blue balloon just kind of lingering over them, and it was really cute. And they kind of symbolize, that being the dad watching over them, and then it flies off. And next we see Candy with her glam team. They're getting her together, and I guess she's doing some sort of promo for the Candy Cares grocery giveaway that she is wanting to do, because in light of this pandemic, there are a lot of families that have lost income due to losing jobs or just not having the resources that they once had to get, I guess, food, clothing, shelter. Everybody took a big hit from this pandemic. And so Candy and her team are doing what they can do to help the community. So they are wanting to put together a socially distanced grocery giveaway, which I think is really dope. And she also brings up the fact that her baby daddy, Riley's dad, still owes her a ton of money from unpaid child support. And she's seeking the help of Eva's husband, Mike Sterling. And she FaceTimes him, and he basically tells her that, yeah, the money that he owes, because she was like, can it just go to Riley since Riley is in school and she's 18 now? The money can just go straight to her since she'll need it to live. And so he tells her that it could get put in a trust for Riley or whatever the case may be, but she is seeking his help on this child support case. Now, she also feels like, okay, the dad has had millions of dollars himself in the past. Not sure if he still has it, but he did have it, and he could have used it to pay the child support that he owed. And then we go to Cynthia and Portia. They meet up, and basically Cynthia meets with her because she wants to know if Dennis can come to the wedding. She knows that Dennis and Portia are not together, but Mike is really cool with Dennis and wanted Dennis to be at the wedding. And to make a long story short, Portia said that no, at this time, she doesn't want him to come. And basically, she says they broke up because she was just overly irritated by him. And she felt like that irritation was just a result of her feeling the need to punish him for his past infidelities. And so it was like nothing he was doing was working. And she just said, you know what, I feel like I'm losing myself. And they just needed to call it quits for the time being. All right, so now we see Cynthia again. She's at home this time, and she's FaceTiming Noelle. And Noelle is on the West Coast in LA, and she has her own apartment now. And as some of us know from the YouTube world, Noelle is now an influencer, a fashion influencer with all things beauty. So she does beauty videos or whatnot, and it's a really cute channel. And Cynthia tells her that she wants her to come to Atlanta to be a part of her, I guess, her gown fitting, her final fitting or whatever. And Noelle agrees to come, but she can only be here for 2 weeks because she's got obligations with products or with people that she has promised to promote for. So she can only be here for 14 days. Cynthia is kind of bummed about that, but hey, you want the girl to pay her own bills, so you need to let her do what she got to do. Now, the day of the Candy Cares event is here, and we see the ladies start to show up. Portia shows up. I think she showed up before Tanya. Tanya's always on time, and Portia showed up second, and Candy was very shocked and happy because Portia showed up on time. And she also let us know that Portia did donate $5,000 to the event, which was such a blessing to the event itself, and that was pretty dope. And then Kenya comes, and of course she is in her feelings because, oh, you know, Portia could be on time for this event, of course. And she goes, well, yeah, she's gonna be on time for the photo op. But I would imagine that if Joe Biden was at this event that y'all were throwing the other day or the other week or whatever, that would have been a bigger photo op, and she was an hour and something late for that. So Kenya just wanted to throw shade. And we see, you know, Cynthia, she's gonna be late because she and Mike are going to get their marriage license, and she says she's not letting this one out of her sight because we know from the season where she and Peter got married, her mom and her sister hid it because they didn't want them to get married, and she probably should have listened, but that's neither here nor there. And they are kind of talking, everybody is getting together, and Portia brought up meeting Cynthia the night before, and she was telling her about how Mike wanted Dennis to come, and Candy let her know, yeah, Todd wants him to come also, and he says that he would be cool, you know, as long as they could come separate as long as you didn't bring a date. And so they're kind of going back and forth about that and laughing and talking. And Kenya, since she hates Portia's guts, you know, she's just like, can we talk and work? You know, and so everybody was just kind of like, oh, okay. And we know Kenya has control issues when it comes to that, and especially the fact that she doesn't like Portia. So that didn't help either. And so the families start to show up to this event. They start loading them up. And then Cynthia comes in the midst of that. She was like, I heard y'all giving away food. They was like, girl, if you don't park that car and get your butt over here. And it looks like the event is going to be a major success. So shout out to Candy for helping the Atlanta families in need. All right, so the girls sit down for lunch, and Marlo also comes through, and she comes through with a $5,000 donation. I guess Candy challenged the girls. Maybe $5,000 was the donation amount, because that's the same amount that Portia gave. And Candy, without putting anybody on blast, she did mention that, you know, some of the girls aren't as giving as some of the others. And so we'll just leave it at that. But I'm sure as time goes on, we'll find out who was a tightwad with that money. But anyway, Drew calls. She couldn't make it because she's obviously packing to move. But Drew also came through with a donation of an undisclosed amount. She didn't tell us how much it was, but she did give up some skrill. And Kenya again referred to her as a stray. She's like, Cynthia is always finding strays, but what is Latoya? But anyway, Kenya uses this opportunity to tell the girls that she and Latoya were talking, and they think that the girls should go on some sort of getaway. Where they should go, nobody can decide. They're all bringing up different places. They're throwing ideas out amongst the group, and nobody is really sure where they want to go. Kenya thinks that they should go somewhere on a beach, and Portia tells them, wherever we go, we need to drive, because it's not really safe to be doing all that flying in these conditions. And so she also brings up that Fallon has a plane. They've got their own plane, and Kenya ain't trying to be a part of that. So she X'd that idea out right away. So I guess they're going to decide on somewhere to go. All right, so now we see Cynthia again. And this time, Noelle has made it into town. And might I add that Noelle is just absolutely gorgeous. She's another one that we saw grow up from this little awkward, weird looking girl into this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful butterfly, I guess. And we all go through awkward phases, and then we kind of grow into our own. And she's definitely grown into her own. And of course, Cynthia Bailey is her mom and Leon is her dad. So she was destined to serve the way that she serves. But anyway, we see her, and she and Cynthia are on their way to her mom's house, to Cynthia's mom's house. And Cynthia's getting kind of annoyed because the whole trip, you know, Noelle has her phone and she's taking selfies. And I mean, it's kind of her job to do so, but Cynthia was getting annoyed. She's like, okay, I need you to be present. I need you to put the phone down. I need you to kind of, you know, be here with me in this moment. But she does take a cute selfie with Noelle once she's able to stop and do so. But anyway, they get to her mom's house, and her mom is a diabetic and everything. And so Cynthia is making sure that they're extra careful. They're putting on their face shields and everything. So they go in, and Mal is there. And I guess she asked her mom to make pork chops, and half of them or most of them are already gone when she gets there because they're late. And so I guess Mal wanted to eat. So Mal ate a lot. But anyway, they're talking, and Cynthia tells her mom that she wanted to extend the invitation to their dad to the wedding. And everybody's kind of like, oh my goodness, oh Lord. And so Mama Bailey, I guess we could say, she just says, he can come. I'll just put my mask over my eyes. So in other words, she doesn't want to see him, but if Cynthia wants him to come, then he can come. And Mom kind of feels a way about, she was upset with the girls because of a post that they made on Father's Day. They thanked him for having them, as she said, and the post said, "Thank you for bringing us into this world and for being there," or something. And so mom felt a kind of way because she felt like they were giving him the props that were due to her. She says that he treated her like absolute garbage with a divorce and didn't want to, pay child support. So she doesn't really understand why they were singing his praise when she went through so much, to get what she needed from him to help take care of Cynthia and Mal. Now, and, she just doesn't like the way that he did her. And she also feels like she was blindsided by Cynthia and Kenya when they asked her to speak and give her part, during the PSA. And Cynthia said, "Mom, I had no idea you didn't know what a PSA was. If I knew that you didn't know and that you weren't comfortable with telling your story, right hand to God, I would not have asked you to be a part of that." So mom was there, she couldn't back out. So she said what she said. And because she said what she said on the PSA, she started getting a lot of backlash from people from their hometown or where they were from, because they were saying she was a liar, because he's such a good guy, he's in church and XYZ. And so she did face a lot of backlash for telling her story. And she, is not okay about any of that. And it did cause a lot of strife and a bunch of mess. And Noelle is in agreement with Grandma. She says, "Look, I feel like Grandma has been there from day one. If this is something that is going to make her uncomfortable, I don't think that you should do it." Noelle doesn't care one way or the other. She doesn't know her granddad. She's only seen him, once? And she can't count the number of times that her grandma has been there, and that has been there for all of them. So it leaves Cynthia to be, stuck between a rock and a hard place, because that's her father. And she would love for both of her parents to be present when she marries the man of her dreams. But at the same time, it obviously is upsetting to her mom, and her mom is going to feel some kind of way. And so she doesn't really know what to do. Mal made it known that, yeah, I still communicate with Dad. I still talk to him. And her mom was kind of mad about that. I don't really understand this per se. My parents are still married. They have been married for almost 40 years. And I haven't had to deal with the broken home. So I don't understand, one way or the other. And I know that has to be tough for the kids, because you love both of your parents, but your parents may not feel the same way about one another. So it's interesting to see what Cynthia will do, for this time. But that was where the episode ended. We obviously have a lot to look forward to with this girls trip that's coming up. I am excited to see that. There's going to be some drama there. So I guess we'll tune into that. If I left anything out, make sure that you drop it down in the comments below. With that being said, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great upcoming week, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.